Welcome to Housing After 60. I am Charles Odell. On this site, we analyze the math and the reality of senior housing to find your best options. Let's get started.
Welcome to another deep dive from Housing After 60. Today, we are looking at the forever tenant strategy based on our latest research at housingafter60.com. You know, for decades, the goal for retirement was so simple, wasn't it? Pay off your mortgage and then you live rent-free for the rest of your life. But as this quote kind of suggests, the financial reality today in 2026 is, well, it's flipping that whole script on its head. That old American dream is starting to feel a lot more like a drain on your savings. So, if that's the case, what's the alternative? Well, it's this concept we're calling the forever tenant. And let's be really clear here. This isn't about being forced to rent. Not at all. This is about making a strategic, calculated financial power move to take back control of your own money. So over the next few minutes, we're going to break this all down for you. We'll start with this new reality retirees are facing, then we'll look at the true cost of owning a home. After that, we'll dive into how you can unlock all that capital tied up in your house, how to handle the risks of renting, and then finally, we'll lay out a step-by-step game plan. Okay, so let's start with why this is even a conversation in the first place. The big article over on housingafter60.com tells this story about a couple, the Watsons. On paper, they were millionaires. Their house was paid off. It was worth a fortune. But in reality, their day-to-day cash flow was so tight, they were actually struggling with monthly bills. And that right there is the classic house-proud but cash-poor trap. Yeah, and this slide just lays it out perfectly. The old dream of a free house, it's being replaced by the 2026 reality of illiquid wealth. I mean, think about it. You can't exactly pay for groceries with your kitchen cabinets, right? And all the while, those property taxes, the insurance premiums, and the constant threat of some big surprise repair bill, they're just chipping away at your cash. Okay, so let's move on to section 2 and really dig into the numbers behind that myth. Because honestly, the idea that a paid-off home is free might be one of the most expensive illusions in retirement planning today. This brings us to a really critical concept called the CapEx storm. You have to think of your house as having its own maintenance clock. And after 20, maybe 30 years, all the big stuff, the roof, the HVAC, the plumbing, they all start nearing the end of their life right around the same time. It creates this perfect storm of massive expenses. And those repairs, wow, they are not cheap. A new roof can be almost $20,000. A main sewer line repair? 15 grand. For someone living on a fixed income, any single one of these isn't just an inconvenience. It can be a full-blown financial crisis. And beyond those huge one-time hits, there's what our research calls the cost creep. Insurance premiums are just exploding, especially in what are now being called insurance deserts like Florida and California. Property taxes are rising way faster than Social Security adjustments. And let's not even get started on the unpaid, super stressful, full-time job of managing all of it. So if owning a home has become a constant cash drain, what's the solution? Well, this brings us to the absolute core of the strategy: how to transform your biggest asset from a potential liability into an engine that actually powers your retirement. And the key idea here is something called dead capital. Look, if you have, say, $800,000 of equity just sitting in your home, that money isn't working for you at all. In fact, you're paying taxes and insurance just for the privilege of it sitting there. The opportunity cost is immense when you think about what that money could be doing if it were invested instead. So here's how you bring that capital back to life. It's a simple 4-step power move. First, you sell your home. Second, you take those profits, often completely tax-free. Third, you invest that capital into an income-producing portfolio. And fourth, you use that new income stream to pay your rent. Simple as that. Now this number on the screen, this is the real game changer. It represents the incredible power of the U.S. tax code, specifically a little rule called IRC Section 121. It's really the linchpin of this entire strategy, because it allows a married couple to exclude up to $500,000 of capital gains from their home sale. That is a massive, one-time, totally tax-free cash windfall. It's huge. But of course, this strategy isn't a magic bullet. It's not without risk. So to make it work, we have to be honest and address the single biggest concern people have about renting. So let's talk about that reality, and more importantly, how you can manage it. So what is it? What's the one thing that could potentially derail this whole plan if you're not actually prepared for it? The biggest threat, hands down, is rent inflation. It's that nagging, legitimate fear that over 10, 20, or even 30 years in retirement, your rent check could climb faster than the income you're getting from your investments. That would slowly but surely eat away at your nest egg. But, and this is a big but, you can build a shield against this. As we noted on the housingafter60.com site, there are concrete steps you can take. You can negotiate multi-year leases with fixed capped increases. You can choose to live in areas with lots of new apartment construction, which keeps prices competitive. And, crucially, you can work with a financial advisor to build a portfolio specifically designed for income growth to beat inflation. Okay, let's bring it all together in the final section, the game plan. We've talked about the theory, we've talked about the risks. Now let's look at the hard numbers and the concrete actions you can actually think about taking. All right, this is the bottom line, isn't it? If we run a direct side-by-side comparison over a 10-year period, what does the math actually tell us? Who comes out ahead? I want you to pay really close attention to that final row on this slide. Just focus there. Yes, the renter's out-of-pocket expenses are higher over the decade, but the result is, well, it's staggering. The homeowner has zero liquid cash. It is all trapped inside the walls of the house. The forever tenant, on the other hand, has nearly $650,000 in a liquid, accessible investment account. And if the table wasn't clear enough, this bar chart just screams the difference at you. It is the knockout punch. When you're facing a medical emergency or any major unexpected life event, the renter has total financial freedom. The homeowner, well, the homeowner has a house. So, how do you know if this is a path that's even right for you? Here's a simple checklist to get you thinking. If you find yourself answering yes to a few of these questions, then this strategy is definitely something worth exploring further. And if you want the full technical breakdown, of course, check out the post on housingafter60.com. And this all brings us to the final, and maybe the most important question of all, one that really reframes this whole debate. You just have to ask yourself, is your home a productive asset that you can use to fund your life, or has it become a liability that you just happen to live in? Thanks for watching. For more guides and the full article on this topic, head over to housingafter60.com. Don't forget to check the links in the description below.
Your peace and enjoyment in retirement depends on the right housing strategy. Visit housingafter60.com for our full analysis and cost transparency guides. I will see you in the next video.